Okay, so today we're going to do Roman numerals, and it's not a particularly hard section, but it's a particularly long section. It's actually the second time that I'm recording this video, and I was kind of mad at myself as I was doing it because of the length, and then I didn't make it any shorter, so sorry about that. It'll be long, but not particularly hard, and the reason I'm redoing it is about halfway through the video, I kind of started teaching differently how to do the Roman numerals than I did at the beginning of the video. I kind of like the way that I did it at the end better, and so I'm going to make it all kind of consistent rather than having kind of two techniques mixed within a video. The techniques were essentially the same, but I just started saying something a little bit differently, and I just didn't want to have that out there. So anyways, I'll just jump into Roman numerals. I imagine you're at least familiar a little bit what Roman numerals look like, and there aren't many of them, and the Romans, we don't get fractions, we don't get negative numbers, and we don't get zeros with Roman numerals. And specifically the Roman numerals we're going to worry about are the letters, and Roman numerals come in capital letters. An I means 1, a V means 5, an X means 10, an L means 50, all capital letters. A capital C means 100. A capital D is 500. And a capital M is 1000. This is what we need to know for this section in terms of the Roman numerals. We won't do it, but if you put a bar on top of any of the numerals, that means to multiply by 1000. So a V with a bar over it means 5,000, and X with a bar over it is 10,000, and we won't do those numbers. I think the largest Roman numeral you can get is 3,999,999, but there could be something that I don't understand about Roman numerals that allows you to get something bigger than that. But for our purposes, we won't go over 3,999. That'd be the biggest Roman numeral we'll learn how to write, and I guess that's got to be enough. So I think the only time I really ever see Roman numerals is sometimes at the end of movies. They show the date that they were made in Roman numerals, especially like old stuff. And then Super Bowls are in Roman numerals, and there's got to be other things, but nothing that's too terribly important. Getting off a little bit light in this section because some teachers also teach Babylonian numbers and I think Mayan numbers, and I just decided not to teach them. They're less important than Roman numerals, I guess. So anyways, these we kind of have to have memorized. I imagine I'll give them to you on the test. And basically we need to go in two directions. We need to, if we're given a Roman numeral, be able to find I'll say a standard number, and if we're given a standard number, we need to be able to convert it to a Roman numeral. There are calculators that do this online, and I just did every problem in this section, at least every even problem that I have to do, on an online calculator. It took me about 4 minutes to do the whole section. So there are definitely tools available, but can't use those online calculators on a test. So when we're writing Roman numbers, they're kind of oddly created, and Roman numerals, if you do two of the same numerals in a row, it means to add those two numbers, or three of the same numerals in a row. So an I would be 1, and then two I's next to each other means to add two ones, which is going to be 2. 3 I's next to each other is going to be 3. You'll never see 4 consecutive Roman numerals next to each other. If there's a need for a fourth Roman numeral, you won't do it with 4 of a kind. You'll do it in a different way, and I'll show it in a second. Strangely, we won't do double V's. V stands for 5, and even though it would seem like VV would stand for 10, that's not a way Romans would represent 10. That looks silly. So we won't have double V's because an X already stands for a 10, and that's more efficiently written. We will have double and triple X's, however. And the next Roman numeral L, we won't have double L's, even though it would feel like LL should equal 100. We won't do that. Instead of, for 100s, we have the letter C, and C is equal to 100. C equals to 100. CC equals to 200. CCC equals to 300, and we'll never have 4 consecutive Roman numerals. The next Roman numeral, the D, which stands for 500, we won't have 2 D's in a row, even though it might feel like DD is 500 plus 500, which is 1,000. That won't be a Roman numeral because there's a Roman numeral already for 1,000. So the Roman numerals that represent the 5s, the 5, the 50, and the 500s, we don't double up. We only double up the ones that represents the 1s, the 10s, the 100s, and the 1000s. So we'll never have more than 3 of a kind in a Roman numeral. If there's a need for a 4 of a kind, we're going to use kind of essentially almost 2 consecutive symbols. Or we're going to use 2 Roman numerals to represent anything that's a 4 or a 9. So to get a 4, we're not going to have 4 ones next to each other. We're going to have a Roman numeral that represents 1 to the left of a Roman numeral that represents 5. And because when I look at the values of these, if Roman numerals are written with the smaller value first and the larger value second, that in some sense is backwards, because usually Roman numerals go larger number than smaller number. Anytime if you see 2 Roman numerals written in order and the one with the smaller value is first, you subtract the 2 amounts to figure out what that number equals to. So IV is going to equal 5 minus 1, which is 4. So any Roman numeral that has a 4 and or a 9 in it, you're going to have to get by, it's going to be a 2-lettered symbol, and you're going to write basically what you want to subtract to get the number. So for instance, to get 9, because I'm not going to write 4 of a kind, any 4 or 9 is going to have to have a 2-lettered Roman numeral, and it's going to be IX, because I is equal to 1, X is equal to 10. Anytime you have 2 Roman numerals next to each other, if the smaller one is to the left of the larger one, in this case 1 is smaller than 10, then to figure out what that number equals to, you subtract. Similarly, 40 and 90 will work the same way. Any Roman numeral that's a 4 or a 9 is going to be written with 2 symbols as opposed to something other than 2. And the symbol that has a smaller value is going to go first. The symbol that has a larger value is going to go second. So this symbol XL, the X represents 10, the L represents 50. When the smaller number is written before the larger number, then you subtract those numbers, and 50 minus 10 is going to be 40. So we can read through this sheet to figure out every Roman numeral that we'll be concerned with that's either a 9 or a 4. I'm circling them right now. Hopefully they show up well enough. So there are 6 Roman numerals that we'll use to represent the 4s and the 9s, and we're not going to get any bigger than this, so we won't have any other ones to worry about. So I kind of looked at the single, double, and triple Roman numerals with just 1 letter, and then the Roman numerals with 2 letters that mean subtract. Now, not every Roman numeral that has multiple letters means subtract. Actually, most of them mean add. So if you look at these numbers, 6, 7, and 8, the number 6 is written VI, and that's different if you want to compare that to 4, which is IV. So In this situation, I'm adding the 5 and the 1. In this situation, I'm subtracting the 5 and the 1. So 6 is 5 plus 1, and 4 is 5 minus 1. The difference between how the symbols are written to tell me whether I'm adding or subtracting to figure out what the Roman numeral converts to is the order. When the smaller number, in this case 1, is written first, 5 is written second. When the smaller number is written first, you subtract the two numbers. And when the smaller number is written second, you add the two numbers. So for the difference between VI and IV, the reason I know VI is 6 and IV is 5 is that in VI, the smaller number 1 is written second, the larger number is written first. When it goes larger, smaller, you add the numbers. When it goes smaller, larger, you subtract the values. So VII is going to be 6. Similarly, or VI is going to be 6. Similarly, if you want to compare XL and LX, it's the same comparison, because XL, the 10 is written first, the 50 is written second. In a Roman numeral, if the second letter is bigger than the first, you subtract. And then if I looked at LX, the L represents 50, the X represents 10, and in a Roman numeral, if the second symbol is bigger than the first symbol, you add them. I could spend all day talking about this sheet, but I think I'll just kind of get into the problems, and hopefully as I'm getting into the problems, you'll get more and more familiar with the Roman numerals and what they're equal to, rather than talking about every number on this sheet. The important thing is, for Roman numerals, we'll never get more than a 3 of a kind. Once we need 4 of a kind, we start doing 2-lettered symbols. The Roman numerals that represent the 5s, you only get 1 of a kind ever. You'll never have a double D, a double V, or a double L. That's got to be enough. And any 4 or 9 is a 2-letter symbol. It means 4, 40, 400, 9, 90, 900 are all 2-lettered symbols. And I'll just jump into it. So, how do I convert XIV to a nice regular, our common numbers are called Hindu Arabic numbers? It's easy enough to do, and I'd like to do it with a table, because I think it's the nicest way to, do this. So my goal is going to be now to show you how to convert the Roman numeral XIV to a common numeral. Quite honestly, I always forget that they're called Hindu Arabic numbers. So to do this, I'm going to create a table. It's not exactly how I do the work up here. I actually talk out the problem, and I think it's almost more confusing than making a table. Eventually, I'm not going to get that wordy, but for these problems, I'm going to do them all with a table. To convert from a Roman numeral to a common number, I'm going to create a table. And I'm going to take the given number, and I'm going to write it down. And I'm going to look at the first two symbols. And there's 3 things that can happen with the first 2 symbols. Before I want to talk about the 3 things that can happen, I'm going to write their values. So step 1 is I'm going to create a table. and place the number we are converting on the top row, or in the top row, I guess. And then highlight. I never know how to spell highlight, because highlighter, I'm hyphenating it, but I don't really know that that's right, because these things are called a highlight. I don't know, you don't have to highlight it. Doubt that that's spelled right. But I always get, when I try to type this, I think that's because it's like a name brand. That's not a good word. But anyways, I'm going to highlight the first two symbols. And write values over each. And there's three things that can happen here. One, if the first symbol has the greatest value, bring it down. That is just the first symbol down. If the symbols have the same value, bring one down. Bring the first one down. So if the first symbol is greater, just bring the first symbol down. If the symbols are equal value, just bring the first symbol down. If the second symbol is greater, bring both symbols down. This is the meat of getting my Roman numeral converted to a common numeral. So I take the Roman numeral and put it at the top of my table. I highlight the first two letters, or the first two Roman numerals, and write values over them. And then I figure out which of these three scenarios fit. Does the first symbol have the greatest value? Well, of the two that I highlighted, the first symbol has the greatest value. So this is case one. I'm going to bring down that symbol, and then that's what I'm going to write the value for, and x is equal to 10. I'm done with my first step. My second step is to now remove the letter that I brought down and bring the rest of the remaining Roman numeral over. So I looked at the first two symbols, figured out which of these three cases applied, and because the first symbol has the greater value of the two, I bring it down and write its value underneath, and then cross it out and write what's left. Well, what's left is IV, and when I write now above the I what I is equal to, which is 1, and above the V what V is equal to, 5, I ask myself which one of these three scenarios work. Well, it's the third symbol. If the second symbol, V, is greater than the first, so if the second symbol is greater than the first, bring both symbols down. So I'm going to bring down the IV, and I need to know what IV equals to, and we did it on this last sheet somewheres, I imagine. IV is 5 minus 1, which is 4. Anytime we have a 2-lettered Roman numeral that we're bringing down, we're going to subtract. I've used all 3 letters, so there's not anything else to do but figure out what my answer is, and to get my answer, I add the bottom row. So the answer to this Roman numeral XIV equals 10 plus 4, and as a common number, it's equal to 14. So it's going to take me doing 2 or 3 or 4 of these before you can do them yourself probably, but ultimately they're not going to be hard, but what you're going to want to have in front of you is a list of all the Roman numerals. So you're going to have at your fingertips that I equals to 1, that V equals to 5, X equals to 10, L equals to 50, C equals to 100, M equals to 1,000, and I skipped the D equal to 500. So these you have to have at your fingertips. So now I'm going to do the same thing. That is, create a table to figure out what the Roman numerals equal to. For the second example, CXCVII. And so I'm going to create a table. I don't know how wide this one's going to be. It's going to be a little bit wider. So in the top, I'm going to make room for some Roman numbers. And then I'm going to bring something down. And then I'm going to get a value. I start off by taking the entire number that I'm working with. In this case, it's CXCVII. I start off, and my first step is I highlight the first 2 symbols and write what they're equal to. C is equal to 100. X is equal to 10. My rule says that if the first symbol has the greatest value, just bring it down. And so this is the rule that's going to apply here. The first symbol has the greatest value, so I'm going to bring it down. So I'm going to bring down the C and write down what the C is equal to, which is 100. Now I'm going to remove that C from my Roman numeral and write what's left, which is XCVII. Highlight the first 2 symbols. X is equal to 10. C is equal to 100. And figure out what to bring down. And this is if the second symbol has the greatest value or greater value than the first, bring both symbols that you highlighted down. And that's the case here. The second symbol has a value of 100, which is bigger than the 10. So I bring both symbols down and I subtract their values. And write that number in the value. Done with the XC, move on and bring over what's next, which is VII. Highlight the first 2 letters. V is equal to 5, I is equal to 1. This is just like the first scenario. If the bigger number is written first, I only bring 1 letter down. If the bigger number is written second, I bring 2 letters down. So I'm going to bring, because the bigger symbol is written first, I bring 1 letter down, I write its value, remove it, and then I only have 2 symbols left. Each of the symbols has an equal value. That's the middle case here. If each of the symbols has the same value, bring the first one down. So I'm going to bring the first one down, which is an I, and I is equal to 1. I'm going to cross it out, carry over the last I. It's only one letter, so I don't even have to highlight anymore. I'm going to bring it down and write its value. Now I'm just going to add up 100 plus 90 plus 5 plus 1 plus 1, and I'm going to get 197 for CXCVII is 197. I guess if you're living in the time of the Romans, you just look at that number and know what it is without having to think about it. And this just tells me how I got the work. Alright, one more example and then we'll do the homework. So I'm going to make a table, and you don't need to see the table. So let me do this. So I want to work on converting. So I need to make a decent sized table. I'm going to start off on the top. I'm going to write my Roman numbers. Then I'm going to need to bring down something. I need a value. So I start off with an MCMLXIV. Again, I have to have at my fingertips that I is 1, V is 5, X is 10, L is 50, C is 100, D is 500, and M is 1,000. Those I have to know. I might not need them all for this one. Might not even have enough room to do this, but I'll fit it the best I can. So first two letters, M and C. M is equal to 1,000. C is equal to 100. If the first letter is bigger, I only bring one letter down. So I'm going to bring the one letter down and write its value of 1,000. Remove it and write down what's left, which is CMLXIV. First symbol C is equal to 100. Second symbol M is equal to 1,000. If the second symbol is bigger, bring down both of the symbols that are highlighted and subtract. So the second symbol was bigger because the first symbol represented 100, the second symbol represented 1,000. I brought down the two letters as opposed to one, subtracted their values, crossed them out, which is left now as LXIV. L is equal to 50. X is equal to 10. If the bigger symbol is written second, only bring down the first symbol, write its value. Remove the L, I'm left with XIV. X is 10, I is 1. If the bigger symbol is written first, bring it down. If the bigger symbol is written second, bring a pair down. Here, the bigger symbol is written first. I bring it down. I write its value. I remove it. I'm left with an IV. I is equal to 1. V is equal to 5. When the bigger symbol is second, you bring a pair down. So I'm bringing a pair down, I'm subtracting their values, and I get a 4. So this is going to be 1,000 plus 900 plus 50 plus 10 plus 4. That's 1,964. So the answer to that example, MCMLXIV, is equal to 1964. Alright, so now the homework, and there's a bit too much homework here, to be honest with you. So we have 14 problems apiece to do. That is if you can just do the problems and not have to, do mine too. So I is 1, V is 5, X is 10, L is 50, C is 100, D is 500. I don't see an M here. I don't need the M as 1,000. So I'm going to write down my Roman number. Bring down. And a value. And the more I do these, the less I write in my table, because I just kind of know what it is. I just have to know how to operate the table. Not really, the names here aren't so important. So when I do my DXLVI, I look at the first two symbols. The D is equal to 500. The X is equal to 10. If the bigger symbol is first, you bring one symbol down. And the bigger symbol is first, so I bring one symbol down. I write its value down. Remove it from my list. Now I go XLVI. Highlight the first two. X is equal to 10. L is equal to 50. If the second value is bigger, bring both of them down that you've highlighted and subtract their values. And that's the case here. The second symbol, XL, is worth the L, the second symbol is bigger. When the second symbol is bigger, that's when you bring the two letters down. When the first symbol is bigger, you bring one letter down. For the VI, the V is worth 5. The I is worth 1. First symbol is bigger, so I just bring it down. I write its value. Remove. I only have one symbol left, so I need to bring it down and write its value. So I'm going to be 500 plus 40 plus 5 plus 1. And I'm going to get DXLVI equals to 546. I think your answer is 242. Alright, this one's going to take more room, my number 4. And again, I need to know I is 1, V is 5, X is 10, L is 50, C is 100, D is 500, M is 1,000. So make it really small here. So I need a place for the Roman number, and then bring down, and then a value. So I'm writing CDXXXIV. C is equal to 100. D is equal to 500. Second one is bigger, so I bring both down and I subtract their values. And I get 400. They're gone. I get XXXIV. Highlight the first two. They're both equal to 10. When there's a tie, you bring one of them down and write its value. You bring the first one down. Remove it. I'm left with XXIV. Highlight the first two. Each of the X's are worth 10. When there's a tie, you bring the first one down, write its value, remove it. Now I'm left with xiv. X is equal to 10, I is equal to 1. Bigger value is written first, so I just bring one of them down, the first one down, write its value, remove it. Now I have IV. I is equal to 1, V is equal to 5. The bigger value is written second. That's when I bring both symbols down that I have highlighted. I subtract what they're equal to and write down my value. Now I'm just going to add 400 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 4, and I'll get CDXXXIV equals to 434. Turns out that this is the harder direction. In the last group of problems in this section, we're going to be given common numbers and be asked to make them into Roman numerals. That's easy. Well, at least the way we'll do it is going to be easy. Alright, so every time I do this, I need to have at least the letters that I see in the problem understood. Here I don't see any CMs or Ds. I don't really need them. So I start off with my Roman numeral. I'm going to bring something down, and I write a value. So I start off with the L, X, X, V, I. Focus on the L and the X. The L is equal to 50, the X is equal to 10, and when the bigger is written first, you bring just the one symbol down, write its value, remove it, write down what's left with just X, X, V, I. Highlight the first two symbols. Each is worth 10. When there's a tie, you just bring the first symbol down, write its value, remove it. Look at the two symbols. The first two symbols that are left. The X is 10, the V is 5. When the first symbol is bigger, you bring it down, write its value, remove it. Now I have V, I. Highlight the first two symbols. The V is 5, the I is 1. When the first one is bigger, you bring only one symbol down, you write its value. Last step, I have a pair. When you have two equal ones, you bring one down, write its value, cross it out. There's one left, so I bring it down, write its value. So this is going to be 50 plus 10 plus 10 plus 5 plus 1 plus 1. That's 77. So L, X, X, V, I equals 77. See, I'm already done. I can do these already with just that few of examples. We have how many more? Like another 12 examples to do, or 11 examples to do. I think there's just too many. Hopefully you're getting to the point where you're maybe where I'm at now, where you can do them kind of quickly, and that would be good. These will go quick. For our next problems, we just need I equal to 1, X equal to 10, and C equal to 100. There are other Roman numerals, but I don't need them for these problems. You won't need them either. So we start off with our Roman numbers. And then I'm going to bring something down. And then I'm going to have a value of what I bring down. Start off with C, X, 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 I. And quite honestly, I don't highlight and write values. I do it in my head. but that doesn't translate to the video so well. The C is equal to 100, the X is equal to 10. When the bigger value is written first, I just bring the one symbol down and write its value, remove it, and then I have X, 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 I. There's going to be a tie, and when there's a tie, you just bring the first one down. So each of these X's are equal to 10. There's a tie, I bring the first one down, write its value, remove it. What's left is X, X, I. Going to be a tie again, and when there's a tie, I bring down just the first one of the pair. So I'm going to bring down that X. It's equal to 10. Remove it. I'm now left with an XI. The X is equal to 10. The I is equal to 1. When the bigger symbol is written first, you bring down just the one letter, write its value, remove it. What's left when I remove it is just an I. I bring down the I, it's worth 1. So this is going to be 100 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 1. So C, X, 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 I equals to 131. For this problem, or for these problems, we need I as 1. I need V as 5. We need X as 10. And we need L as 50. Start off writing my Roman numeral X, L, I, V. Highlight the first two letters. X is equal to 10. L is equal to 50. When the bigger symbol is written second, you bring them both down. You subtract. Remove them both from my number. Carry over what's left. What's left is an IV. The I is equal to 1. The V is equal to 5. The bigger symbol is second, so I bring the pair down. Subtract what they're equal to. I've used up everything, so I don't need any more of my table. I just add these two numbers up. Get 40 plus 4, which is 44. So XLIV equals to 44. So we have, what, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 9 more of this way. They go quick once you, well, hopefully I'm not going too quick, but they eventually go quick. So I need my Roman numeral, what I'm bringing down, and a value. So in this problem, I is equal to 1, V is equal to 5, X is equal to 10, L is equal to 50, C is equal to 100, and D is equal to 500. I have all of those in these. So for my number, which is going to be a little bit longer than yours, D, C, C, L, X, V, I look at the first two symbols. The D is equal to 500. The C is equal to 100. First value is bigger, so I bring down just the one symbol. I write its value, remove it. Then I have C, C, L, X, V, I. I have a pair, and when I have a pair, I just bring down the first one. So I'm going to bring down the C. Its value is 100. Remove it. Then I'm left with C, L, X, V, I. The C is equal to 100. The L is equal to 50. bigger thing is written first, so I bring it down. It's worth 100. Cross it out. Now I have LXVI. Highlight the first two. The L is equal to 50. The X is equal to 10. Bigger symbol is written first, just bring it down. It's equal to 50. Then I'm going to be left with XVI, progressively writing smaller because I'm running out of room. Look at the X and the V. The X is equal to 10. The V is equal to 5. Bigger symbol is written first, so I just bring one symbol down. It's worth 10. Cross it out. Then I have VI. V is worth 5. I is worth 1. Bigger symbol is written first, so I just bring it down, which is going to be the V, which is worth 5. Cross out the V. I have an I left. Bring the I down. It's worth 1. So this is going to be 500 plus 100 plus 100 plus 50 plus 10 plus 5 plus 1. I get 766. So I get DCCLXVI equals 766. It's a really unfortunate number. It's just so long. For this group of problems, I need the I is 1. You need the V is 5. I need the X is 10. Lots of pairs here, so that's not bad. So we start off with the Roman. Something to bring down. And a value. Start off with the X, 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 I, X. First bit, there's a pair. And when there's a pair, you bring just the first one of the pair down. Write its value, remove it. Then I have X, X, I, X. Look at the first two, there's a pair. When there's a pair, you just bring the first one of the pair down, remove it, write its value. Now I have X, I, X. First two, X is equal to 10, I is equal to 1. Bigger ones first, bring down just the first one, bring its value down, remove it. I'm left with an IX. For an IX, the I is 1, the X is 10. The bigger valued symbol is written second, so I bring them both down. Subtract. This is going to be 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 9. So X, 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 I, X equals to 39. Definitely worn out on these. And there's some long ones left, but this one's not a long one. This is a nice short one. So for ours, we need I is equal to 1. We need V. I need V is equal to 5. We need X is equal to 10. We need C is equal to 100. So eventually I stopped doing the names in the tables. I'm going to stop that right now. So I'm just going to write XCIV, understanding that's the Roman numeral. I look at the first two symbols. The X is equal to 10. The C is equal to 100. When the second symbol is bigger, I bring the pair down and I subtract their values. So XC is going to be replaced with 90. My XC is going to be gone. Now I have IV. My I is equal to 1. My V is equal to 5. Bigger symbols written second, so I bring down the pair, subtract their values, and used up all my letters. So I'm going to get 90 plus 4, which is 94. So XCIV equals to 94. Yours is 99, I guess. It's equivalently nice. Not as nice for 18. So we need I is equal to 1, X is equal to 10, C is equal to 100, and M is equal to 1,000. That's all I see in here. So again, a scrunched table without the words, because I don't really need the words if I kind of understand how my table is working. And it takes less room this way, and sometimes these things get long. And this one's going to be long. I have to write a little bit smaller than I normally do. So first two symbols, MC. M is equal to 1,000. C is equal to 100. Bigger one's written first. I just bring it down, write its value, remove it. Now I have C, M, X, C, I left. Highlight the first two. C is equal to 100. M is equal to 1,000. The bigger value is written second, so I have to bring a pair down and subtract their values. Gives me a 900. Remove the pair. Now I have X, C, I. Look at the first two symbols. The X is equal to 10. The C is equal to 100. Bigger symbol second, so I need to bring the pair down, subtract their values. Gives me a 90. Remove them. I'm left with an I. I know that that's 3, but I'll do it formally. First two, I get a pair that are equal to each other. And when you have two of a kind, you bring the first one down, remove it from the list, write its value. Last two, I have a pair of a kind. Pair. When you have a pair, you bring the first one of the pair down, remove it, drag over what's left, write its value. Last step, there's only one left. I bring it down, write its value. So it's going to be 1,000 plus 900 plus 90 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. That's 1,993. You can do these addings on your calculator. I can add in my head pretty quickly. So 5 more going this direction, and then the other direction, like I said, is going to be easy. Okay, so you need I is equal to 1, V is equal to 5, I need X is equal to 10, C is equal to 100, M is equal to 1,000. So M, C, M, X, C, V. Kind of wrote it bad here. For my first two, I have a pair. When you have a pair, you bring one of them down and write its value and remove it. Now I'm going to have M, C, M, X, C, V. For my first two now, M is equal to 1,000, C is equal to 100. The bigger one's first, so you bring just the one down, write its value, remove it. Now I have C, M, X, C, V. First two, the C is equal to 100, the M is equal to 1,000. The second symbol is bigger, so I bring down the pair. I subtract their values, 1,000 minus 100, and I get 900. Remove them. Now X, C, V. Look at the X and the C. The X is 10, the C is 100. Bigger value is second, so I bring a pair down. I subtract their values, remove them from the list, only have one letter left, and I write its value. So this is going to be 1,000 plus 1,000 plus 900 plus 90 plus 5. I get 2,995 when I do that adding. Notice I'm not writing you don't have to write the Roman numeral next to the answer. You just have to write what it equals to as a common number. Shortish looking ones, we need I is equal to 1, V is equal to 5, X is equal to 10, M is equal to 1,000. So So I start off with M, M, X, I, X. First two, there's a pair. When there's a pair, you bring the first one of the pair down. Write its value. Remove it. Now I'm left with M, X, I, X. The M is equal to 1,000. The X is equal to 10. Bigger ones first, bring only one down. Write its value. Remove it. Now I have X, I, X. Highlight the first two symbols. The X is equal to 10. The I is equal to 1. Bigger symbol written first, so I only bring one letter down. Write its value. Remove it. What's left is IX. The I is equal to 1. The X is equal to 10. Bigger symbols written second. Bring them both down. Subtract their values. Use up all my symbols, so I'm done. So I'm just going to go 1,000 plus 1,000 plus 10 plus 9. And I get 2019. That's right. And yours is going to be 2014, I imagine. Alright, so for these we need I equal to 1, V equal to 5, X equal to 10, L equal to 50, C equal to 100, M equal to 1,000. Best write small because there's a lot going on here. So C, M, X, L, V, I. First two, C and M. C is equal to 100. M is equal to 1,000. The second symbol is bigger, so I bring them both down. I subtract 1,000 minus 100, and I get my 900. Cross them out. I'm left with X, L, V, I. For the XL, the X is equal to 10, the L is equal to 50. Bigger written second, bring the pair down, subtract their values, and get 40. Remove them, then V, I. Look at the V and the I. The V is equal to 5, the I is equal to 1. First symbol is bigger, bring it down, write its value, cross it out, bring over the I and I. I have a pair. When you have a pair, you bring the first one of the pair down, write its value, cross it out, down to one letter left, bring it down, write its value, add them up. So that's 947. Two more this direction, I think, I hope. And then going backwards is easy. Alright, so here we need I is 1, V, you need that is 5, X is 10, L is 50, C is 100, D is 500. So I have D, C, C, X, L, I, X. First two, D is 500, L, C is 100. First one is bigger, so I just bring down its symbol, write its value, remove it. Then I have CC, XL, IX. I have a pair, and when you have a pair, you just bring the first one of the pair down, write its value, remove it. Now I have C, XL, IX. C is equal to 100, X is equal to 10. First symbol is bigger, so I only bring one symbol down and its value, remove it, XLIX. For those, X is equal to 10, L is equal to 50. Second symbol is bigger, so I bring a pair down, subtract, remove them. Look at what's left. What's left in the IX, second symbol is bigger. Bring them both down, subtract their values. I'm going to get 500 plus 100 plus 100 plus 40 plus 9. I think that comes out to 749. Last one going this way, then the easy way. So we need I equal to 1, V equal to 5, X equal to 10, L equal to 50, C equal to 100, D equal to 500. So I start off with C, D, X, L, V, I. First two symbols, C and the D. C is equal to 100. D is equal to 500. The second symbol is bigger, so I bring the pair down and subtract. Remove them both from my list. Now I'm left with X, L, V, I. Look at the first two. X is equal to 10. L is equal to 50. Second one is bigger, so I bring the pair down, subtract their values, remove them from the list. Then for the VII, V is equal to 5, I is equal to 1. Bigger one's written first, so I just bring one letter down, write its value, remove it. Now I have a pair. When you have a pair, you just bring the first one of the pair down, write its value, remove it. Only one left, bring it down. I get 400 plus 40 plus 5 plus 1 plus 1, and that's 447. That's by far the hard way. Hopefully we did enough of them that it doesn't feel like the hard way. To go backwards, we have to know, I'm missing a number here, that I is 1, that I is 2, I. This table will be given to you. For whatever reason, this table is missing a VI, which is a 6. So these tables I'm going to give you on the test. Makes it real easy to go backwards. So if you have this table in front of you, to go backwards, you just need to break a number down into its ones, tens, hundreds, and the thousands, and use these tables. So if I had the Roman numeral 158 and I wanted to go backwards, easy enough. Write I don't even know what I'm doing here. Write 278 as a Roman numeral, and then I have wrote 158 there. I have no idea. This is the second time I'm doing this video. You think I would have fixed that by now. So write 278 as a Roman numeral. Well, I need to take 278, break it up into its hundreds, its tens, and its ones. So there's 2 100s, 7 tens, and 8 ones. And now beneath each, write what they are equal to. 200 is equal to CC. So beneath the 200, I'm going to write the symbol CC. 70 is equal to LXX. So beneath the 70, I'm going to write LXX. And 8 is equal to VIII. Beneath the 8, I'm going to write VIII. That is the Roman numeral. I'll just write it nicer. So 278 equals CC LXX VIII. So if you can take a number and break it into its thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones, you can just steal from the table to get what the Roman numerals equal to. This is wrong on another front. Seems silly to do another one, but I'm going to do another one before we get to the homework. So now, to do 2,419, this is 2,000 plus 400 plus 10 plus 9. So the 2,000s, 400s, 110, and 19. 2,000 is an MM. So beneath the 2,000, I'm going to write MM. 400 is a CD. So beneath the 400, I'm going to write a CD. 10 is just X. So beneath the 10, I'm going to write an X. And 9 is IX. So beneath the 9, I'm going to write an IX. So 2,419 as a Roman numeral is MMCDXIX. That's it. Now the homework. So I'll do 30. And these will go quick, but there's too many of them. So 57 equals 50 plus 7. 50 I'm going to write an L for. 7 I'm going to write a VII for. So this is going to be VII, and there's the answer. So you should almost maybe have this printed out. I don't imagine you want to have it memorized. And I think I fixed it and I put the 6 where it belongs. So these should go quickly. 17 for number 32 is 10 plus 7, so I did the 10s and the 1s. 10 is an X, so I'm going to write an X for the 10. 7 is a VII. I'm going to write after the X, I'm going to write a VII. I don't do the plus signs. The answer to problem 32 is XVII. (34) 131 is 100 plus 30 plus 1. 100 is going to be C. 30 is going to be triple X. And 1 is going to be I. So this is going to be CXXXI. (36) 722 is 700 plus 20 plus 2. 700 is DCC. (20) is XX. And 2 is II. So that's going to be DCCXXII. So you really just need the table in front of you, because I can't imagine breaking these things down to the hundreds and tens and ones is that hard. So 29 is 20 plus 9. 20 is XX. 9 is IX. Because 20 is XX, 9 is IX, so it's XX, IX. Those I even had memorized, so I was able to do it without looking at my table. That again I have memorized, I don't need to look at my table. 20 is XX. 4 is IV. So it's going to be XXIV. That's it. 44 equals 40 plus 4. 40 is XL. 4 is IV. So this is going to be XL, IV. I could almost do these as quickly as I could write the problems down if I had the sheet in front of me. If I don't have the sheet in front of me, I can do them, but not that quickly. 48. 40 is still XL. 8 is VIII. So I'm going to write an XL from the 40 and a VIII from the 8. Equals 90 plus 8. 90 is XC. And 8 we just did, it's VIII. So that's XC VIII. I. 446 is 400 plus 40 plus 6. 400 is CD. 40 is XL. And 6 is the one that wasn't on there, it's VI. So CD, XL, VI. 957. There's really not too many more to go. I was going to just stop doing these, figuring you can do them, but you can fast forward and not watch me if you don't need to. 900. CM. 50. Just a lonely L. And 7. VII. So I get CMLVII. CM 40 XL and 1 is an I. So CMXLI for 941. $1973 is 1,000 plus 900 plus 70 plus 3. 1,000 is an M. And then 900 is a CM. So the 1,000 is an M, 900 is a CM, 70 is LXX, and 3 is III. So it's MCM, LXX, and then III for the 3. 1999. Is 1,000, which is M, plus 900, which is CM, plus 90, which is XC, plus 9, which is IX. So again, you just steal them from that sheet. MCMXCIX. 2 more, I believe. 2,000 plus 10 plus 9 for 2019. There's no hundreds. The 2,000 part is a double M. The 10 part is an X. The 9 part is an IX. So 10 is an X, 9 is an IX. So it's MMXIX. Last 2. 2043 is 2,000 plus 40 plus 3. 2,000 is MM. 40 is XL. And 3 is III. So it's going to be MMXLIII. So that's everything in this section. I think, again, I did a few too many problems, but I always rather do too many than too few. So hopefully my second stab at this lecture, I mean, it probably wasn't interesting, but at least hopefully it was learnable.